In the IoT Radar, we're going to discuss IoT development and embedded tools. And who is in a better position to discuss this than Reinhard Keil, and he is the Senior Director of Embedded Tools with ARM. Good morning, Reinhard.
Good morning, Lucy.
Good to see you. Thank you very much for your time. Reinhard, we're going to discuss IoT development tools, but first, let's discuss your opinion. What is actually the state of play, in your opinion, about software development tools in general?
So actually, thank you for inviting me. And as you perhaps know, my team is focusing on the IoT endpoints or edge devices, typically built around the Cortex-M based microcontrollers or system on chip. So when I put this, then keep in mind it's Cortex-M focused. These devices typically do local decisions in real time, have mostly a simple sensor or user interface. It's a typical embedded system. Typically, the user does not even know that there is compute behind. Common to these systems is they operate on low power budgets, connect via various protocols, so Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, LoRa to an IoT gateway, and then connects the device to the cloud. And in future, we believe that these devices will become more intelligent, and that's why we invest heavily into machine learning. We have brought the Cortex-M55 to market, which has vector instructions for more demanding machine learning applications. And we have a dedicated ethos-U neuronal network processor. But we don't stop at the processor. We actually invest a lot into our ecosystem, and together with our ecosystem, we build software stacks. For example, we work with Amazon AWS, Microsoft Azure, or Google to develop Cloud Connector and ML frameworks that help you to get your product faster to market. And in our ecosystem, there are also expert companies. I picked two examples. DSP Concepts, known for the audio products, Edge Impulse, which is specialized in machine learning, all with the aim to help you to reduce the time to market for your IoT application.
Yeah, that is clear. But I think it also touches on where the difficulty is in IoT software development, because you're mentioning machine learning, you're mentioning connectivity, you're mentioning security. Now, lots of small stacks and lots of batches of software are, running there. But I believe that with the product you are announcing now, you are looking to integrate that. Is that what MCUs is, OpenSenses Pack?
Yeah, that's correct. Today, actually, when you get all the software components, you need to manually integrate them. And this requires expert engineers, as you need to combine it with other SDKs, for example, with the device-based software from a silicon vendor. And while silicon vendors try to simplify that, each vendor has its different approach. And before I go into why we did OpenSenses, let me give you some background on Senses Pack. It was actually developed years ago, and we have brought it to market about 7 years ago, initially to unify device support. And today we have almost 9,000 different microcontrollers that are shipped in the Senses Pack format. So the device support is shipped in the Senses Pack format. In our flagship product, MDK, we have 2 million downloads of packs per year alone, which is amazing. It took us by surprise.
Yeah, very impressive. Yeah.
And once we analyzed the statistics, we discovered actually that half of the downloads are software-only packs, despite the fact that we actually cover device support. So that was then the time where we discussed this with our ecosystem partners. And it resulted in this OpenSenses Pack project, where we have today Linaro, ST, and NXP as the founding partners. So what we have in mind is we will take the existing Senses Pack technology to the next level. We want to ensure consistency across the offerings from all these software vendors. And today, ST Cube, for example, uses already Senses Pack. But software from different vendors need to interoperate. And what we will do is therefore standardize the API interfaces along with the naming conventions, so that software from AWS or Azure runs on many devices from different silicon vendors. Yeah. So by applying MCU's Pack to more complex software, we try to simplify code reuse, and then it is easier for you to provide the bespoke functionality to your system.
Yeah. Now I can, you know, the software developing, I see him sitting behind the screen and thinking, oh no, not another solution. I have my solutions all stacked up. I have my own development environment. You know, what is your message to him? Does he need to be scared or does he need to be relieved? What will it be for him?
Yeah, let me talk a little bit about Keil Studio before we talk about the user experience. So as you perhaps know, I'm in this industry for over 35 years nowadays. Sure. And the focus of my previous company, and now within ARM, was always on the professional users. So our user base is really the who is who in this industry. And we have in MDK, with Keil MDK, the most comprehensive tool chain where we address functional safety. We include best-in-class compilers and debuggers and the likes. So many of our users actually develop bespoke hardware that is specifically designed for the application. The hardware is optimized. And this is done because the overall system cost matters in high volume production. Sure. And once we have started with our next generation IDE, which is Keil Studio, we analyzed the needs of our developers, and we saw that cloud is a trend. The pandemic made it even accelerated this trend, and with cloud-based development flows, you can help on many fronts. Just think about GitHub, how popular is this with version control, but actually it enables collaboration, has a lot of other features. We will therefore work on continuous integration, test and validation workflows that scale better on cloud servers, utilize over-the-air update services that are nowadays offered by cloud vendors. Okay. And when it comes to machine learning, then it requires data collection. And this is typically done with cloud services also. So the cloud makes really also no difference if you work from home like I do today, or if you are in your lab, you just bring your data and your environment with you in your browser. And while we have today Keil Studio in the beta phase with just 3 boards, the next step will be that we combine this with the full pack system where we have support for these 9,000 devices that I have mentioned.
Okay.
So at that time, then we will support many different evaluation boards. And what is really important when we do things, the reference code examples that we expose can be retargeted to the bespoke hardware. Okay. And to do so, we use the silicon vendor expert tools that NXP or ST or others are providing. So back to Keil Studio again. This is the beta version that we have out today. As I said, we have access to example projects, and the cool thing about it, no tool installation is required. It just works in your browser. You open it and it directly connects to the board on your desk. And the compilation is in the cloud. Okay. It's typically faster than on your local computer. So it's amazing. The debug experience is great.
Okay. And you just mentioned it is now for a couple of boards it supports, and the full pack will be expected. Is there a time frame for that?
We envision by the time of Dev Summit, this is in October, where ARM has this big developer conference. We will actually go live with many more boards.